Welcome to my channel, Spooky Stories. Before you close your eyes tonight, ask yourself, do you really know the walls around you? What if they've seen something you'll never forget? A final breath, a scream, a secret that refuses to die. Tonight, we're stepping inside some of America's most haunted murder houses, the H.H. Holmes Murder Castle, where terror was an industry. The Villisca Axe Murder House, where a family's nightmare still whispers, and a house that continues to haunt its residents to this very day. Each one holds a secret so dark, so twisted, that once you hear it, you might never sleep the same way again. Are you brave enough to find out? If you're still here after stepping inside these chilling murder houses, hit the like button and subscribe, because what comes next might haunt you long after the video ends. 1. Zach Bowen Murder Apartment, New Orleans, Louisiana. Because the story of the Zach Bowen murder apartment is not for the faint of heart. Nestled in a seemingly quiet corner of New Orleans, this unassuming building hides a darkness that even locals avoid after dusk. In the early 2000s, Zach Bowen, a troubled man living alone here, committed a horrific act of violence, an act so gruesome that neighbors still recall hearing screams late into the night. But even after Bowen was taken away, the apartment never truly emptied. Doors slam on their own, objects fly without warning, and whispers echo in hallways when no one is there. One tenant reported waking at exactly 3:17 a.m. every night, footsteps pacing just outside their bedroom door, a rhythm unmistakably human yet entirely impossible. Paranormal investigators who entered the building recorded faint cries for help and guttural growls that seemed to think, to plan, to watch. What makes this apartment truly terrifying is its intelligence. Witnesses feel eyes on them. Cameras capture shadowy figures, and some claim to see Bowen himself, silently observing from the corners before vanishing. Even police officers answering noise complaints have left shaken, hair standing on end, chills racing down their spines, and the overwhelming sense of being followed. The Zach Bowen murder apartment isn't just haunted, it's alive with the rage and sorrow of its history. Walking past it at night, you might hear the faint sound of crying from the upper floors, an echo of a tragedy that refuses to fade. Those who enter feel Bowen's presence, watching, waiting, judging, and some never forget the experience. Would you dare step inside? 2. Los Feliz Murder Mansion, Los Angeles, California. Ears up, because the story of the Los Feliz Murder Mansion is one of Hollywood's darkest secrets, hidden behind ornate gates and manicured gardens that hide a nightmare within. This sprawling mansion, built in the 1920s, became infamous after a gruesome triple murder shook the Los Angeles community. In 1959, the owner, Dr. Harold Pearl, reportedly took the lives of his family in a shocking spree, leaving the estate drenched in blood and sorrow. The exact motives remain shrouded in mystery, but neighbors who lived nearby claimed they could hear agonized screams echoing through the walls late at night. Even after the house changed ownership, the mansion's sinister reputation followed, and locals avoided it as if it were cursed. The mansion's haunting is unlike any other. Visitors and trespassers alike have reported hearing footsteps pacing upstairs, even when no one is inside. Some claim to see shadowy figures in the windows, standing motionless before vanishing without a trace. Paranormal investigators have captured chilling EVP recordings, whispers pleading for help, doors slamming violently, and sudden drops in temperature so extreme that cameras would fog up mid-shoot. One visitor recounted a sudden heavy feeling pressing down on their chest while standing in the main hall, as if an unseen presence was testing their courage. These occurrences aren't limited to the house's interior. The gardens reportedly echo with faint cries and footsteps at night, suggesting the mansion's influence extends beyond its walls. What makes Los Feliz truly unnerving is the idea that the mansion doesn't just harbor spirits, it reacts. Those who enter with disrespect or disbelief often encounter the most terrifying phenomena. Lights flicker aggressively, doors lock on their own, and objects move with alarming precision. Witnesses report hearing voices calling their names, sometimes whispering threats or warnings to leave. Locals believe the mansion retains the violent energy of the murders, and it manifests selectively, almost as if it can sense fear and feed on it. Trespassers are warned not to linger because the mansion seems to hold grudges, creating an atmosphere of constant dread. Even professionals who have explored the mansion admit to a sense of being watched. Security cameras left on the property have captured unexplained shadowy forms darting across hallways and sudden movement in rooms that should have been empty. Some claim that the spirit of Dr. Pearl himself roams the halls, a dark figure of rage and sorrow, eternally bound to the estate he tainted with his actions. Locals whisper that even the sound of a car engine passing by can awaken the mansion's presence, causing doors to slam and lights to flicker in warning. The Los Feliz murder mansion is a chilling reminder that some homes are not just haunted, they are alive with the energy of past violence. It isn't merely the memory of murder that lingers, but an active force that continues to terrify anyone who dares step inside. And while the mansion stands as a historic relic of Los Angeles, its walls continue to whisper a warning. Some horrors never leave, and some houses never forgive.
3. Villisca Axe Murder House, Villisca, Iowa. Because the Villisca Axe Murder House is one of America's most chilling and unsolved mysteries, a place where fear has lingered for over a century. On the night of June 9, 1912, in this modest two-story home, 8 people, including 6 children, were brutally murdered with an axe while they slept. The gruesome crime shocked the small Iowa town, and despite investigations and suspects, the murders were never solved. What makes this house terrifying even today is the lingering sense of violence. Locals claim that walking past the home at night can make your skin crawl, as if the past is breathing just behind the walls. The house has since become a hotspot for paranormal activity. Visitors report hearing the sound of axe swings, whispers, and children laughing in rooms that have been empty for decades. Some describe waking in the night to find cold spots that move with them, or seeing fleeting shadows crossing the hallways when no one else is present. Paranormal investigators frequently capture EVP recordings of faint cries calling out for help, as if the victims themselves are trapped in an endless loop of terror. Tour guides claim the house reacts to outsiders. Doors creak open on their own, windows slam without wind, and lights flicker, creating an unsettling atmosphere even for the bravest of explorers. What sets the Villisca Axe Murder House apart is its reputation for affecting everyone who enters. Psychics and paranormal experts have reported feeling intense emotional pain, nausea, or an overwhelming sense of despair, suggesting that the energy of the violent murders still saturates the home. Trespassers often describe hearing footsteps pacing upstairs or feeling invisible hands brush past them in empty rooms. Some claim to have glimpsed figures standing silently in the corners, faces obscured but unmistakably human, watching their every move before disappearing into the darkness. Locals swear the house communicates in subtle ways, testing those who dare to challenge its walls, as if reliving the horror of that night over and over again. The Villisca Axe Murder House is more than a historical crime scene. It's a place where fear has been preserved, carefully nurtured by the trauma that occurred within its walls. Each creak, shadow, and whisper serves as a chilling testament that some horrors never leave. For those brave enough to enter, the house offers a warning. History isn't always silent, and sometimes the past reaches forward to remind the living that certain evils cannot be buried.
4. Amityville Horror House, Amityville, New York. Because the Amityville Horror House is perhaps the most infamous haunted residence in America, a place where terror and tragedy have been intertwined for decades. On the night of November 13, 1974, Ronald DeFeo Jr. shot and killed 6 members of his own family in this quiet suburban home. The brutality of the crime shocked the nation, but what followed was even more disturbing. The house didn't just witness the murders, it seemed to feed on them. The subsequent owners, the Lutz family, claimed they were driven from the home within just 28 days by a series of horrifying paranormal events, making the house a global symbol of supernatural fear. From the moment they moved in, the Lutzes reported phenomena that defied explanation. Doors slammed violently on their own, windows shattered without cause, and the temperature in rooms would drop suddenly, creating icy pockets of fear. Most terrifying of all were the apparitions, shadowy figures lurking in corners, a green glowing spirit hovering above the staircase, and inexplicable voices chanting or whispering their names at all hours of the night. The family even reported furniture moving by itself, light fixtures swinging violently, and the sounds of footsteps pacing the halls despite the house being empty at times. Paranormal investigators and skeptics alike have documented unusual activity in the house, from electromagnetic anomalies to strange readings on thermal cameras. Neighbors and visitors describe an oppressive energy that feels almost alive, as though the house itself is aware of intruders and reacts with calculated malice. Psychics have reported hearing growls, screams, and guttural chanting that seem to emanate from nowhere, intensifying after midnight. Some claim to have seen figures staring silently from windows, only to vanish when approached. Locals swear the house holds a memory of the violence that occurred there, and it expresses its rage and sorrow in ways that terrify anyone who dares to stay inside. What makes the Amityville Horror House uniquely terrifying is the sense of intelligence behind the hauntings. The paranormal events are not random, they are personal. People claim the house seems to target weaknesses, magnifying fear and doubt until even the bravest feel hopeless. The Lutz family described being chased by unseen forces, waking to find demonic faces staring down from walls, and hearing cries from children who were never there. Over the years, dozens of visitors have experienced similar phenomena, reinforcing the idea that the house is not merely haunted, it is possessed by the lingering essence of violence and hatred. Even today, the house continues to fascinate and terrify. It stands as a chilling reminder that some horrors don't end with death. The Amityville Horror House isn't just a crime scene. It is a vessel of enduring evil, where tragedy echoes through the walls, and anyone who enters risks encountering the same malevolent force that drove a family from their home decades ago. The question lingers: if such darkness resides in a house in your own neighborhood, would you ever feel truly safe inside your own walls?
5. H.H. Holmes Murder Castle, Chicago, Illinois. Because the H.H. Holmes Murder Castle is perhaps the most infamous house of horrors in American history, a place where greed, madness, and bloodlust combined to create a true nightmare. Built in the late 19th century for the 1893 Chicago World's Fair, the building initially appeared to be a modern, grand hotel, but inside it concealed a labyrinth of death. H.H. Holmes, a charismatic doctor and serial killer, designed the structure specifically for murder. Hidden stairways, secret passageways, soundproof rooms, trapdoors, and a basement crematorium turned what should have been a place of hospitality into a meticulously engineered death machine. Holmes lured victims, often young women, to the castle under the guise of employment or lodging. Once inside, they encountered rooms that were designed to disorient, trap, and terrify. Some rooms were airtight chambers, others had gas lines leading to slow, agonizing deaths. The house's very architecture became a tool of terror, allowing Holmes to commit murder without witnesses while keeping the horrors hidden from the outside world. Though he was eventually caught and executed, historians estimate that dozens, if not hundreds of people perished within its walls. Even today, the murder castle continues to exude a chilling presence. Paranormal investigators and curious visitors report strange sounds echoing through empty hallways, doors slamming and disembodied footsteps pacing the old foundations. Some claim to feel sudden drops in temperature, oppressive dread, or even hear faint screams that seem almost human. The maze-like design of the building is said to confuse even modern explorers, and shadows move in ways that defy logic, as though the house itself remembers the blood it has witnessed. What makes the murder castle especially terrifying is the idea that evil can be meticulously planned and hidden behind ordinary walls. Unlike other haunted sites where violence occurred spontaneously, this house was designed with the express purpose of taking life, and some argue that the malevolent energy of Holmes' crimes still lingers. Guests and investigators have reported seeing glimpses of a pale-suited figure wandering corridors, believed to be the spirit of Holmes himself, eternally bound to the place he built for murder. Others have described hearing chains dragging across floors or whispers calling names, as if the victims' souls are trapped, repeating their final moments endlessly. The H.H. Holmes murder castle stands as a chilling reminder of what can hide behind the facade of normality. It isn't just haunted, it is a monument to calculated evil, a place where history, architecture, and human depravity combined to create a terror that endures for over a century. For those who dare to imagine the horrors that occurred within, the question remains: if such evil can exist behind walls meant to shelter, can any home truly be safe? The murder castle leaves a lasting fear that some places are never just empty buildings. They are vessels of history's darkest sins, waiting silently for the next soul to wander inside.